everyone, it's Naomi Findlay here and welcome to another episode of Rapid Renovation Tips. This is it. You're nearly at showtime and all of your hard efforts are going to be rewarded. The date is set. Your target market will soon be streaming through those doors any minute now. But is everything ready and set to wow them? Have you made sure that the toilet's clean? Have you made sure that there are no weeds in the yard, that there's no little dust? Have you made sure that the mailbox is empty? Oh my gosh, so many tiny details to remember. But don't worry, we're going to be working through some of the most important things that you need to know for open home inspection so that you'll be leaving no stone unturned. Inspections are the perfect moment to make your property shine and to stand out from its competition. This is where you'll gain your maximum profit in your shortest period of time if you pay attention to those extra details. So open home inspections are kind of like a first date or a job interview, right? Would you go on a first date without thinking about what you might want to wear that is nice, taking a little bit of extra time with your hair? Would you go on a job interview without ironing your clothes or even maybe emptying your handbag to make it feel super neat and organised? First impressions stick with people forever. So you need to make sure that you leave a great one. Just like on a first date or a job interview, you want to make sure that the place is perfect, that you've hit your target buyers, that they're coming back for more and more. Give a great first impression will not only make sure that your buyers will fall in love at first sight, but it will also give buyers the assurance that there's nothing fishy lurking below the surface. Good looking and reliable. That is exactly what you want your property to be known for. Good looking and reliable. Now that is a winner. Now, a property that's well looked after and low maintenance is something that buyers are going to be very attracted to. So the day of your home goes onto the market, you should have it looking the best ever. So how do you make sure that you don't miss anything? How do you make sure that you've ticked off every single thing that you need to be thinking about in your newly renovated property? Think of it, I guess, as a 24/7 show. The first impression doesn't start the moment that the buyers actually walk through the door. They've been looking at your property for ages. You know, it actually starts the minute it hits the market. You might have a perfectly presented porch, but what about the leaves in the gutter? What about the bunch of dirt that's sitting next to the driveway? What about the first thing that someone sees is curbside collection of one of your neighbours? And although the whole street might be filled with beautiful tree-lined, gorgeous plants, if your property doesn't sing that same song, then it's going to be overlooked. So as soon as your property goes onto the market, buyers will want to see it in its flesh, especially if your photos look hot, which they're going to, right? But before they even come to your first open, they've already done a drive-by, which is why it's so important that you have the outside of your property looking fantastic. Remember, 24/7 show. So you might have already rendered the facade and polished the floorboards, but what about the mailbox? Does it have flyers and junk mail sticking out of it? Does it have leaves in the gutter, as I mentioned? Do you need to put the whiz bins away as soon as the rubbish has been emptied? Appeal to all the senses and remember the final details. Now, you can't control your potential buyer's thoughts, nor can you control what sort of mood they're in when they come to your open home. But what you can do is everything in your power to steer them in the right direction. So a well-staged home appeals to buyers' visual senses, and if you're still not sure whether you'll be spending the money on your home in staging, take a look at the other blog posts that we've got on the site, and I reckon that's going to help you make up your mind about that. But beyond visual appeal, beyond what we can see, which is, other than the actual renovation and the styling, I want you to think about people's other senses, about their hearing, about the smell, and how you can make the buyer feel happier and more at home and connected in your property through these other senses. So I want you to think about what you would do in your own home to freshen things up before a guests arrive, okay? So what are the sort of things you would do living in Australia? You'd be looking to open up your doors. You'd be looking to make sure that it had a beautiful, fresh scent. And you need to be doing exactly the same before an open inspection, before you invite the guests/buyers into your property. So smell is a huge factor. It's been researched that it is the #1 turn off. And so you need to make sure that no smells, good nor bad, are overwhelming in your property. And definitely never use really niche scents that may put someone off. Always go for a very fresh, natural scent rather than an exotic and heady scent in a candle or an air freshener. Now, I mentioned temperature earlier. Do not overlook temperature. There's nothing that will dampen the mood quicker than an air conditioning blasting subarctic temperatures. Buyers don't need to be shown that the split system is capable of making a subarctic continent inside your house. And what you need to be doing is making sure that it is at comfortable inspection temperature, and that you are in tune with whatever the environment is giving you outside, and you give the best possible comfort level when someone's inspecting the house. So by appealing to all these senses, by giving your buyer the full experience, you're more likely to connect with them on an emotional level and leave a lasting, amazing final impression. Now, the next thing is all the little details, the finishing touches at your home inspection, and what a difference this can make to how a potential buyer views your property and whether they'll be jumping over each other to give you your best profits yet. When you've made sure that your street appeal is intact and street appeal is at maximum and the atmosphere inside is perfect, you should go through your house one final time, room by room. Be your own little detective. Sniff out anything that seems out of place and that doesn't belong in that house. Remember, things like toilet seats. Are light switches on? Are the lamps on? Are the windows open? Is the toilet roll rolled in the right direction? Now, when we think about lighting, it's really important that we think about perfect ambience. We want to make sure that there's enough natural and artificial light to ensure that each and every room is well lit. Bring in fresh foliage. Make sure that at least one space in the house, at minimum, has fresh foliage inside it. So there's a lot to think about when you're going to open home. You've just spent all this time renovating. You've spent all this time styling. Do not leave those finer details unchecked. Each and every one of these finer details, setting the mood, appealing to the senses, leaving no stone unturned, and being on show 24/7 means that you're taking your project from renovation to rapid results epically. Thanks for joining me. Did you know I wrote a book all about renovating to create wealth and freedom in your life? I've added the link below in the description for you. Enjoy.